So here in the United States, the requirement of a unanimous verdict varies from state to state. There are states that allow for partial verdicts, verdicts that are by a majority rule. Usually it's some percentage of the jury needs to agree. But here in Arizona and in most places, a verdict needs to be unanimous, meaning that every juror agrees on the verdict, be it guilty or not guilty. And when the jury cannot agree, they end up being hung. And that results in what's called a mistrial. And unfortunately, the requirement of double jeopardy or the preclusion of double jeopardy doesn't apply to such mistrials. So the state has the option of trying again. In my case, this trial that just ended, we ended up with a split that was 8-4 for not guilty, meaning that a greater majority of the jury was under the impression that the state had failed to meet its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt and was ready to acquit my client. Unfortunately, there were 4 holdouts who wanted to convict my client and they couldn't agree. And so now we're waiting to see if the state is going to elect to try the case again. Here in Arizona, there is a speedy trial rule for retrials under those circumstances, which is the trial has to happen within 60 days. We're not going to demand that. My client is not in custody. We're not in a hurry to try this case again. So we'll see when we actually set this case for trial, if we're going to end up setting it for trial. But the reaction I've gotten from people when I've mentioned how this works is, well, wait a minute, why does the state get to try the case again?